The land of the Horn at the eastern edge of Africa, stretching into the Indian Ocean like a spear, lies the Horn of Africa, a land of ancient traders, proud nomads, and powerful clans. For centuries, the Somali people shared one language, one religion, and a deep cultural identity. Yet the colonial powers of the 19th century carved their homeland into pieces. One part fell under Britain, another under Italy, a third under France, others under Ethiopia and Kenya. But in 1960, a dream was born, the dream of a united Somali nation. And for a brief moment in history, that dream became reality. The birth of Somalia, 1960. On June 26, 1960, the British colony of British Somaliland gained independence. Just 5 days later, on July 1, 1960, it united with the former Italian colony Italian Somaliland. Together they formed the Somali Republic. The capital was Mogadishu, and the new country was built on hope. The Somali people believed they were building the first truly united nation in the Horn of Africa. But beneath the celebrations lay dangerous cracks. The two regions had been governed differently for decades. British Somaliland had its own political structures. Italian Somaliland had its own legal and administrative systems. Unifying them was far more difficult than leaders expected. Early tensions. In the early years of independence, Somalia tried to function as a democracy. But many in the north, the former British Somaliland, began to feel marginalized. Most government power and development projects were concentrated in the south. The north complained of political domination by southern elites. Still, the country held together. But Somalia's leaders had a larger ambition: to unite all Somali people in the Horn of Africa. This dream became known as Greater Somalia. It included Somali-inhabited regions in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Djibouti. These ambitions soon brought Somalia into conflict with its neighbors. The military coup, 1969. In 1969, Somalia's fragile democracy collapsed. After the assassination of President Abdirashid Ali Sharmarke, the military seized power. The coup was led by General Siad Barre. Barre promised order, unity, and national pride. He declared Somalia a scientific socialist state aligned with the Soviet Union. At first, many Somalis welcomed him. He launched literacy campaigns, built infrastructure, and tried to suppress clan divisions. But behind the image of unity, his rule was becoming increasingly authoritarian. The Ogaden War, 1977. In 1977, Barre made a fateful decision. He invaded Ethiopia's Somali-inhabited Ogaden region. At first, Somali forces advanced rapidly, but the war soon turned disastrous. The Soviet Union switched its support from Somalia to Ethiopia. Cuban troops and Soviet weapons flooded into Ethiopia. Somalia's army was crushed. The defeat shattered the regime's prestige. And inside Somalia, clan tensions exploded. The rebellions began by the 1980s. Opposition movements were rising across the country. One of the most powerful was the Somali National Movement, formed largely by northern clans from the former Somaliland. They accused Siad Barre of brutal repression and political exclusion. The government responded with overwhelming force. In 1988, the Somali army bombed northern cities, including Hargeisa. Entire neighborhoods were destroyed. Tens of thousands of civilians were killed. Hundreds of thousands fled to Ethiopia. For many in the north, this was the moment the union with Somalia died. Part 6, The Fall of Siad Barre, 1991. By the late 1980s, Somalia was collapsing. Multiple rebel groups advanced toward the capital. In January 1991, the regime of Siad Barre finally fell. He fled Mogadishu, but instead of peace, Somalia plunged into chaos. There was no functioning government. Power was seized by rival warlords. Clans formed militias. The capital became a battlefield. Somaliland breaks away. While the south descended into anarchy, the north took a different path. In May 1991, leaders of the Somaliland region declared independence from Somalia. They argued that the Union of 1960 had failed. Over time, Somaliland built its own government, army, and elections. Today it operates as a de facto independent state, though it is not internationally recognized. Warlords and humanitarian disaster in the early 1990s. Somalia's collapse triggered one of the worst humanitarian disasters in Africa. Famine spread across the country. Armed warlords controlled food supplies. The world watched in horror as images of starving children emerged. In 1992, the United Nations launched a major intervention. Soon, American troops arrived under United States military command. But peacekeeping turned deadly. In 1993, the Battle of Mogadishu shocked the world. 18 American soldiers were killed in fierce urban combat. Soon after, foreign forces withdrew. Somalia was left once again without a central government. The rise of Islamist groups. Into this vacuum emerged new forces. Islamic courts began providing law and order in some areas. But eventually, militant groups rose from the chaos. The most powerful became Al-Shabaab, an extremist insurgent group linked to Al-Qaeda. For more than a decade, Somalia has battled insurgency, terrorism, and political instability. A nation still searching for unity, today Somalia is slowly rebuilding. A federal government operates in Mogadishu, supported by international partners. But the scars of history remain. The dream of unity that began in 1960 has never fully recovered. In the north, Somaliland continues to govern itself separately. In the south, the struggle for stability continues. Somalia's story is a powerful reminder. A nation can be united by language and culture, yet still torn apart by politics, war, and history. And the question remains, will Somalia one day rediscover the unity it once dreamed of? Or will the divisions of the past continue to shape its future? Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, and leave comments below. See you in the next video.